So, this is a problem I dealt with since I got the car. I spent all year last year restoring it. And one of the problems was the neutral safety switch I had to repair. And I did repair it. You can see I actually de-riveted it, put all new steel screws to hold it together. And the problem I ran into was that when I went to remove this, I broke the shift cable. This is an automatic transmission, like 80% of Porsche 928s. And when I did that, it had an aluminum tube in it that sort of snapped out, and it drove me nuts trying to repair it. So going back to the cable, here's the shift cable. All right, now, for some reason, last year when I repaired this, I thought I couldn't repair it other than, either getting a new cable or here's the aluminum tube. This is supposed to be mated to this steel nut. And of course, aluminum doesn't like to bond to steel. Porsche actually pressed it in there. If you can see it, there's kind of like a ring around that. And, when I went to grab it, I removed this like that, ended up pulling it off. Now, what I did last year, because I didn't think I could remove this end of the cable, my attention span was split. I didn't realize that I could just take this off from here, and I could actually just slide this sleeve nut out along with this aluminum tube. So what I tried to do is I tried to abrase it, because supposedly you could abrase aluminum steel with this stuff, and it worked for nearly a year until I drove the car and it came out. And I'm like, fuck. I could either try to do it again, but then now I'm like, wait, I got the steel nut out. I don't have this problem where I have to worry about, trying to abrase it back onto this thing. You know what does go well with steel? Steel. Here's a stainless steel. Now this tube is 7 millimeters radius with a 1 millimeter thick wall, but you can see it's a little loose in there. It's very loose in there. This is an 8 millimeter. The radius is more like 8.5, but 8's better than 8.5, obviously. And what I'm going to do is cut the rod to the same length as the aluminum rod. This is stainless steel, and then weld it in there. I'll do that right now. And here is the end result. Now that I'm not a good welder, I'm not going to admit that I'm not. It's just a crappy weld, but it's a strong weld, and that's ain't breaking off. Much stronger than the aluminum tube bonded to it, and of course, slides right on in there. Nice. So I thought it did. I need 2 hands for that. It goes all the way in. I'm going to have this cable removed, as you can actually just slide it out of this rubber tube. I'm going to just clean it and grease it so it moves in and out easily. But this won't break. I mean, this definitely won't break. Not from normal use anyway. Right? Give it a good cleaning, a good greasing, and that's it. And the reason I'm doing this, and I'm sure that's the same reason why anyone would be watching this video, is because this cable is expensive. It's in the hundreds of dollars. This automatic shift cable. It's expensive. And the same thing, this is the reason why I repaired the neutral safety switch, because it's also hundreds of dollars, like several hundred in some cases. So, if you're like me, you broke off that stupid aluminum tube, which again, I don't know why Porsche would do that, because, aluminum to steel, why not all steel or all aluminum? There must have been a terrible reason for it, but whatever. This is the best solution. eBay, I got 2 of these long pipes. 2 of these for like $11. So, as long as you're pretty handy dandy with a MIG welder, which I know my welds suck, I don't care, it does work. Stainless steel, pretty light, surprisingly light. Stainless steel is surprisingly light. Not nearly as light as aluminum, but you're not going to really worry about this much weight added to the car. I mean, how many kilograms are we talking about here? But yeah, this is the cheapest, best solution I can think of in fixing this. If you happen to run in the same situation I have, because, wow, these can be expensive. And here's the final product. I'm going to add a few pro tips that I just realized, and I feel dumber every time I'm working on this. There's the steel tube right here, and the nut actually holds not only the tube, but also holds the whole cable to this bracket right here. So you don't even have to go in the interior. I went in the interior like an idiot. Tore it apart to get this whole cable straight on out. Dumb move on my end. All you have to do is just take this little clip off here, unscrew this. This is an 8mm, this is a 10mm. You know, and then you can pull the whole tube. Once you unscrew this, you can just pull the whole tube straight on out and save yourself all the trouble. Here is the neutral safety switch I had mentioned before. I repaired it. This is why I messed with this thing to begin with. It all works fine now. I just tested it. I put it in park, put it in neutral. It cranks. I didn't start it because there's no muffler. But yeah, this works. The steel tube will most definitely not break. You can see, there's the steel tube. Won't break. This thing is solid, and Porsche should be feel stupid for making an aluminum tube to a steel nut and just pressing it on and hoping that's going to hold. That's just dumb. Anyway, hope this helps somebody.